Okay, I am headed back to the truck. I'm on the Sherco 250 SE. This is the first day I've been out on the bike. I've been doing, on the way out, kind of to the end of the trail, which was back there 10-15 minutes. On the way out, I was, kind of playing with suspension clickers, adjusting my air screw on the carburetor, just kind of playing with things, taking it easy. Now, I'm gonna be on the way back, or I am on the way back to the truck, and I'm just gonna jam all the way to the truck. A couple things I'm noticing: my hands are getting hot. The compounds that Sherco uses on these grips, it's a really hard compound. It's not my favorite. I'll probably switch out for something else. I don't know why, but I especially notice it under my freaking my throttle thumb. Kind of rubs weird on that, that knuckle part that sticks out right down there. Some people will run those donut things or whatever on their grips to kind of soften that. I'm just trying to shift my grip a little bit and kind of give some space there, because I don't want to burn a hole in my, get a blister right there. Yeah. As far as aftermarket parts, what have I done to the bike to set it up? Well, I set my sag this morning before I came out. Set the sag to 105. Man, my face is itching. Reach up in there. Don't want to stop. See if I can get my set my sag to 105 millimeters. Standing up with all my gear and my full riding pack full of fuel. Installed tubeless on the bike. I do not like the tires that come on these Shercos from the factory. It's a Michelin Enduro tire. So I swapped it out on the rear. I'm running tubeless and IRC VE33S Dakota. That got away from me. Yeah. That's what we call a graceful dismount. I just had a little bit of a deflection. Oh my gosh. A little bit of a deflection there, and then my front tire climbed up out of that rut, and then it was like rodeo. Anyway, so what I was saying is IRC VE33S Dakota on the rear. It's a really good hybrid gummy tire. Love that tire. Longest lasting gummy tire that I really like. Listen to this bike lug. I gotta drop back down. That was third. Second. Now we're on second. On the front, yes, tubeless as well. I installed the Bridgestone M59. You ask, why did I install these tires? Well, these are like my go-to bike review tires, because third, because I know them very well, and so I feel like I want to remove the variables of tires, especially if it's not a tire I love. So I remove that variable. I also install tubeless because I freaking love tubeless, and that way I can run the same amount of tire pressure as I do on all my other bikes, and then anything that I'm feeling as far as with the front end, I know it's not the tire, it's not my air pressure, it's actually what's happening with the forks. So As I mentioned on the way up here, pay full price for all my bikes, so I can say whatever the hell I want. As far as other things on the bike, Enduro Engineering radiator braces, the holes did not line up on that Enduro Engineering thing. I could show you. Had to drill the holes out. That was disappointing. Somebody had an off day when they were building these, I think, because they were off. The holes were off by like 3/16 of an inch. You could not put all the bolts in that radiator brace. They're like the hex screws that go on the front of this sucker. They would not go in. Had to drill it all out to make it work and put washers on it. But then I put on the Enduro Engineering rear disc guard. That installed super easily and was fit perfect. Put on the Bulletproof Designs chain guide guard so it doesn't get wiped off. And that's it. I have foot pegs for this. I'm still running the stock foot pegs. Sherco is the only one that has foot pegs come straight out of the bike level. Every other dirt bike manufacturer out there, every other bike that I've reviewed has your foot pegs coming out on an upward camber. Not this one. So I've got the Fastway Air EXT foot pegs that I'll probably put on the bike, which will allow me to have that upward camber, and it also makes it so that it drops the foot pegs back and down just a slight amount. I find the cockpit a little bit more cramped on these Shercos than on, say, like a KTM, Gas, Yamaha, even the Hondas that I've been riding recently. So it'll be nice to kind of drop that back, drop the foot pegs back and down. I'd prefer doing that over bar risers because I don't want to take weight off the front wheel. And I may experiment with that just a little bit, but if you put bar risers, then you raise your head, raise your shoulders, raise your whole torso, and it takes some weight off the front wheel. Now, if you go just a little bit, it's not, a little bit goes a long way. If you go too much, like I've done in the past, I've done like 30 millimeter bar risers, and I think, although that makes it really comfortable to stand up, means you're gonna wash out your freaking front end because you don't have enough weight on the front. So today I did move my bars forward in the triple clamps. There's basically 4 positions that you could have these bars, and if you say number 1 position would be all the way back close to you, they pretty much come in number 2 position. I'm running them in what I would call the number 3 position. There is a 4th position which would put the bars further out forward, but I like to keep my handlebars pretty much directly over the center line of my forks, and so I'm in what I would call position 3 of 4 as far as where the handlebars can be installed. Yeah, so that's that. Bike feels really good though. Brembo brakes, front and rear, Brembo clutch. I am shifting without using the clutch when I can if I'm not under load, because I don't use the clutch all the time to shift, especially on my downshifts like this one right there. I just downshifted without the clutch because you do not need to. This is a constant mesh gearbox. Yes, using the clutch does help you slip it into gear, especially when you're under load. But when you're downshifting, you do not need to use the clutch, and I'm not doing it. Sometimes I do, but a lot of times I just punch down. Just boom, just click down. Right there, I just clicked up without using the clutch. I'm off the gas, there's no load on the motor, and so I just reached down there, shifted up without even pulling my clutch. I do that all the time. I've done it thousands of times. not today. Oh my gosh, pounded my head on that thing. I don't know if you guys heard that. I didn't notice there was a hard, big branch sticking out right there. I can get comfortable on any bike. Well, I can get comfortable on most bikes within just a few minutes because I'm switching back and forth. The last 3 times I've ridden, let me tell you what I was riding. 3 different bikes. I was on a Honda CRF, it would have been the 450 RX, and then the next time out, I went on a KTM 300 XCW, and then I went on Honda 250 RX. Then the next time was a KTM 250 XC, and then today is this Sherco 250 SE. So the last freaking 4 times out, I've been on 4 different motorcycles, 4 different platforms from 3 different manufacturers, and man, it's just, that's so much of a blessing, if I'm honest, because it means I never get really locked into one, you know, kind of platform, one kind of feeling. And I try to keep controls in a neutral position. I try to keep my body in a neutral position. And I don't know, it just really helps. Let me get some water here. Sucked some water out of my riding pack here, out of my bite valve. I used to not carry a water bladder, I would just carry water bottles, but I found I drink so much more because I don't have to stop. You know, if I'm just sucking, if I'm just sucking out of the water bladder, I literally have so much more water, drink so much more water. So that's a positive thing. Yeah, it's a little bit more because I do have to like kind of drain it out, and I kind of wash out my water bladder and dry it out and stuff because I don't want nasty stuff growing in there. Grab another gear. See, I just shifted up again. Did not clutch. Must be in 4th gear now. Is that what I am? 1, 2. Wait, so there's 2nd, 3rd. I'll watch this. That's kind of a weird one. You probably couldn't see that, but it's like an off-camera route. So dry. There's been cows up here on this trail, just beating the shiz out of the trail. Just dropped down. I just hit, what would that be, 2nd? Yeah, 2nd gear. And I'll click up to 3rd. No clutch. All that shifting, no clutch. It also gives you like more of a like connected feeling to the ground. I feel like when you're shifting, especially like downshifting without the clutch, you can really feel like click in and feel the extra drag immediately without the, you know, the clutch slip or whatever. You feel the extra drag of that rear wheel. And I don't do a lot of engine braking. See, I'm off the engine braking now, because I don't love to just use engine braking. So we'll just fly down this. I adjusted my idle up a touch. Back there a ways to go. Just give the bike some blips. Sharp handling though. got the KYB front forks. I actually just kept turning the clickers out and out and out, because this is like mountain single track where there were some areas, especially closer down by where the truck is, it's pretty dang rocky, and I felt like it was okay to continue to just speed up the fork. Now I'm out in an attack position. I've got a hand over the clutch, or a finger over the clutch, a finger over the brake, and I'm covering my rear brake down there with my right foot. Right now I'm using both front and rear. You can hear that front brake rotor whining just a little bit. It's dusty. You get this powder moon dust in there, and that brake is bloody hot and it's dusty, and so they'll sit there and kind of make that squeal. Most of the Brembos do that. Some of the Nissan brakes do that as well. This is pretty steep, I should tell you. I'm glad it's not super squeaking. Sometimes my brakes will super squeak. They're not super squeaking today. But I can tell you that front brake and rear brake are probably hot right now. Very hot. Yep, we'll just cruise down this, start to feel it in my low back from, holding myself up there. Stretch out for just a second. You know you're in the attack position when your hamstrings, where you can feel a stretch in your hammies. That's how you can tell you're in the attack position. I'm gonna let myself rest for just a second, kind of straighten out my legs a little bit, straighten out my back, stand up a little taller. You can't stand up all the way as high on a bike like this as you can the Katos. Alright, a little bit of a climb here, and then it'll be another descent pretty much all the way to the truck. Grab another drink here. Second gear, third gear. Down to second again. Click up the third. Notice I've been just clicking between second and third, second and third. There's second. Got my butt down on the seat for some traction. That's really just lots of acceleration. Bumps there. Jump back up, get up over that front wheel. Problem is, if you're leaning too far forward, pulling myself up the hill, standing up, you can lose enough traction, and it's moon powder dust right back there with all those little bumps. It's like I didn't have enough drive. So I kept sitting down to get the drive that I wanted. Stay down, cows. Oh, shoot. Went to shift. And then my tire started to climb up out of that. Ooh, that was close. I don't know how fast I'm going, but I almost bought it. Got my weight off balance just a touch, and then the front tire grabbed that knobby, started to grab that, started to climb up out of it. That was nearly a fast-ish dirt sample. To be taking any freaking dirt samples today. I already took that one. I guess it wasn't a dirt sample because I don't even think I ended up on the ground. The bike did, but I have to go back and review the footage, but I think I gracefully stayed standing. Just jumped off the thing. That's a thing. Learning how to not go down. I think I did say the S-H-I-T word though, which I'll have to bleep out. But hey, on the bright side, there's a lot worse words I could have said, right? Yell high. Yell high, yell Hess. Feel it getting hotter the further I descend in elevation. Did I mention it's over 100 degrees today in the valley? It's like going to be 101 today. Position. I find I naturally squat down more into the attack position when I'm under braking. You know, get lower, get my butt back further. Grab another gear down. Must be third. Clicked into based off the motor. Speed. Yeah. So there's first, second, third. Clicking along in third gear here. Oh, that's what happens when you start to lose concentration. I nearly dumped off that. Like I literally just got so complacent. Wow, Kyle. I literally just was daydreaming. I don't even know what that was. Jeez. All of a sudden I was just daydreaming about something and nearly dropped off into that ravine. The earlier time I went down in this video, I wasn't daydreaming. I just hit something weird. That one was just a mind fart. And it's amazing how fast something like that can happen. Second. See how rocky this is? And it's gonna get even more so. And this actually takes a lot of energy out of you to sit and just continually have to continually adjust body position, you know, wrestle the bike, use power in your upper body to counterbalance what's happening with the bike and, you know, turn your bars and stuff. And then you've got the other, obviously you're up on your peg, so you've got the strain in your quads, hamstrings, you know, low back. I don't know what my heart rate is right now. I've got my Apple Watch on. It doesn't give like a super great representation of heart rate. Oh! It's hard to just send those pivot turns when you've got limited space. I think I'm going to be blistering on my right thumb. I think I've worn the skin off that, I think. Breathing hard, going downhill, man. Drop back down into first gear. There's a little side hill thing up here that going to be kind of interesting because I had to come this way and I dropped off of it coming up. This time I'm going to have to climb it. Be interesting. I'm hoping that I make it clean just for pride. Lifted my foot up there. springtime if we've got good water. Oh shoot. This is got water cascading down it. It's kind of fun, but we're too late. Too late in the year. That only happens in the spring. This is mid-July. So she's all bone dry. I think it's coming up right here. Let's see what line I can pick. Yeah, Sherco power, baby. Just weight that outside peg and trust those tires. Trust the motor. Didn't even spin, just went right up it. Saved a bunch of energy to not have to push the bike up that. Sure, it didn't look like anything on the point of view camera. It's not like a major thing, but sometimes it's the little things. We're getting down fairly close. There's one, this is like the only water. There is water. I crossed through one creek down here at the bottom, right before the truck. We're getting really close to that. Yep. Drop. This isn't the water I'm talking about. It's an actual creek up here. This. Nice. And there's the truck. Cab's still in the shade. Sweet. And hook that one on there. I like hooking the bike like this because there's essentially very little pressure on the suspension. There you go.